Amidst the eerie landscape of a forgotten village, where time seemed to stand still and the air was thick with an unsettling silence that wrapped itself around the ancient buildings and narrow cobblestone streets, a young woman named Sara found herself on a fateful journey that would forever haunt her memories. Sara, with her raven black hair cascading down her shoulders and her curious eyes that held a glimmer of both wonder and determination, had always been irresistibly drawn to the mysteries of the past. It was this insatiable curiosity, a fire that burned within her heart, that led her to the old house at the very edge of the town. This place, spoken of only in hushed tones by the villagers, was shrouded in an aura of enigma and trepidation. They spoke of strange occurrences, of flickering lights that danced in the windows long after the sun had set, and of chilling cries that pierced the night's stillness, echoing through the depths of their nightmares. Undeterred by the tales that swirled around her like mist, Sara embarked on a stormy evening towards the ancient dwelling. The sky was a vast canvas of angry gray, with thunder rumbling like a distant drumbeat and lightning illuminating the path before her in sporadic bursts of blinding brilliance. Raindrops, large and heavy, fell from the heavens with a relentless intensity, drenching her to the bone despite the protection of her coat. With each determined step, the house loomed larger and more ominous, its time-worn facade a testament to the weight of the years that had passed, each brick and weathered beam whispering secrets of times long gone. Pushing open the creaking gate, Sara crossed the threshold into a world seemingly frozen in time. Dust motes, stirred by her presence, danced lazily in the air like ethereal fireflies. Her footsteps, the only sound to break the heavy silence, echoed through the echoing corridors with a haunting resonance. The air itself carried a heavy, ancient scent of decay, a reminder of the life that once thrived within these walls, now surrendered to the inexorable march of time. A cold breeze, seemingly summoned from the depths of forgotten memories, swept through the abandoned halls, its touch sending an involuntary shiver down Sara's spine. She couldn't help but wonder about the lives that had once inhabited these walls, the laughter and tears, the joys and sorrows that had been etched into its very foundation, layer upon layer of human existence. As the night deepened, Sara, determined to uncover the mysteries that lay hidden within these time-worn walls, lit a solitary candle with a trembling hand. Its feeble flame cast long, dancing shadows that painted the faded portraits on the walls with a ghostly touch. The subjects, captured in paint and canvas, stared down at her with long, forgotten eyes, each gaze holding a story, a piece of the past frozen in time. An ornate mirror, its gilt frame bearing the scars of years gone by, caught her gaze and held it captive. As she stared at her own reflection, a distorted version of herself, for a fleeting moment, Sara felt like an intruder in a realm that didn't belong to her, a traveler from a different age who had stumbled upon a world not meant for her eyes. Then a whisper, soft as the brush of a feather against her ear, caressed her senses. Sara turned, her heart leaping in her chest, her eyes darting around the dimly lit room. Yet there was no one there, no physical presence that could account for the ghostly touch that had graced her. A shiver, born of equal parts apprehension and curiosity, crept down her spine, and a sense of unease settled over her like a second skin. She told herself it was just her imagination, the overactive musings of a mind steeped in tales of the supernatural. The stories, the legends that had been woven into the very fabric of this place had gotten the better of her, she reasoned. Yet despite her attempts at rationalization, the feeling persisted, a seed of doubt that had taken root in her mind, and it continued to grow with each passing moment. With the passage of time, an eerie transformation seemed to overtake the very essence of the house, as if it were breathing in the fear and uncertainty that clung to its decrepit walls. Shadows, grotesque and elongated, began to dance upon the walls, their movements fluid yet unnatural, casting grotesque shapes that writhed and contorted in a grotesque ballet. The temperature dropped precipitously, a bone-chilling cold that seeped into Sara's very bones. And with each exhalation, her breath formed ghostly tendrils of mist that hung in the air. Amidst the unnerving stillness, a symphony of faint footsteps echoed through the halls, an ethereal cadence that resonated like a heartbeat in the silence. Sara's voice trembled as she called out, a quiver in her words that betrayed the fear that gripped her heart, but the only response that came was the haunting echo of her own voice. Then, bathed in the dim and flickering light of her candle, Sara's eyes widened in terror as a spectral figure materialized before her. Its form was a twisted caricature of humanity, contorted in agonizing anguish. Its eyes, hollow voids devoid of all compassion, stared into her soul, and its spectral hands reached out, fingers elongated and ethereal, like tendrils of mist reaching for her very essence. An aura of malevolence radiated from the apparition, a palpable hatred that sent a surge of terror coursing through Sara's veins. Stumbling backward, her heart pounding like a drum, Sara's candle was abruptly extinguished by a sudden gust of frigid air. The darkness that enveloped her seemed to pulse with a malevolent energy, a suffocating force that pressed against her from all sides. Every instinct screamed at her to flee, to escape the clutches of this malevolent force, but something deep within her held her ground, a stubborn determination to uncover the truth, to confront the horrors that lay hidden within the heart of the house. As the night wore on, Sara delved deeper into the house's history, poring over dusty tomes and tattered journals that revealed tales of tragedy and betrayal. She unraveled the tragic narrative of the ghost, a tormented soul ensnared within the house by a curse born of heartache and anguish. Its insatiable desire for release had morphed into a twisted thirst for vengeance, a malevolent force that sought retribution against any who dared to trespass within its domain. Sara had unwittingly become entangled in the web of darkness, a pawn in a spectral game of suffering and despair. With the first rays of dawn painting the sky in delicate hues of pink and gold, Sara's strength waned, her body and spirit both bearing the weight of her ordeal. Yet her resolve remained unbroken, a flickering ember of determination that refused to be extinguished. Armed with the knowledge she had painstakingly unearthed, she faced the ghost, her voice unwavering despite the fear that gripped her. She spoke of forgiveness and redemption, her words a plea that resonated not only for the tortured spirit before her, but for her own tormented soul as well. In the final moments of that fateful night, as the first tendrils of sunlight pierced the darkness, the ghost's form began to dissipate, its anguished cries echoing in the ether. Sara watched, breathless, as the house itself seemed to exhale a sigh of relief, as if shedding a burden it had borne for far too long. And as the last vestiges of the ghost faded into nothingness, Sara knew that her journey had come to an end. The old house, once a place of unspeakable terror, stood now as a testament to her courage and resilience, a monument to the strength of the human spirit in the face of darkness. She crossed the threshold, leaving behind the haunting echoes of that night, carrying with her a newfound wisdom, a deeper understanding of the capacity for darkness that can reside within, and the undeniable power of the light to banish even the most malevolent of spirits. The scars of that haunting night would forever mark her, but they would also serve as a reminder of her triumph, a beacon of strength that would guide her as she walked away, her head held high, ready to face whatever challenges the future might hold.